The air was sharp with a scent of pine and damp earth, a chill seeping into my bones that had nothing to do with the setting sun. I knew I shouldn't have taken that shortcut through the old cremation grounds, especially not after what the villagers whispered about the uncremated bone. But the shortcut promised to shave an hour off the trek back to the valley, and the last light was fading fast. The first beat came as a whisper, soft as silk, carried on a breeze that wasn't there. It seemed to coil around my ear, a name I couldn't quite grasp, yet it felt familiar, like a half-forgotten dream. My breath hitched. I stopped dead, straining my ears, but only the distant hoot of an owl answered. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drum in the growing gloom. The ground felt uneven beneath my feet, as if the very earth was shifting. Then, the jingle. Faint at first, like distant bells, then closer, clearer, a rhythmic chime. It was the sound of anklets, the kind worn by women in the villages, but too delicate, too ethereal. It seemed to drift from the shadow of a gnarled banyan tree that loomed like a hunched guardian. A cold sweat pricked my skin, despite the cool air. I fumbled for the iron amulet my grandmother had given me, clutching it tight in my trembling hand. The cold metal a stark contrast to the burning dread in my gut. A flicker of white in the encroaching darkness. Beneath the banyan, a figure. Slender, clad in tattered white fabric, her long, unbound hair a dark curtain against the fading light. She swayed gently, a haunting dance, her back to me. A low, mournful hum drifted from her, a sound of unbearable sorrow, yet laced with an alluring melody. My eyes, fixed on her, began to ache, a strange pressure building behind them. She turned, slowly. Her face was beautiful, impossibly so, framed by the wild tangle of her dark hair. Her eyes, however, were not alive. They were pools of obsidian, reflecting nothing, yet somehow drawing me in, pulling at something deep inside me. A gasp escaped me as I saw it, a grotesque twist to her delicate wrist, an unnatural bend as if the bone beneath was shattered, or worse, exposed. The jingle of her anklets intensified, a frantic, mocking rhythm. She extended a hand towards me, her fingers long and pale. On her middle finger, a ring of dark, gnarled bone glinted faintly. A sudden, overwhelming scent of decay, like rotting flowers and stagnant water, assaulted my senses. It was suffocating. My legs felt like lead, rooted to the spot, even as every instinct screamed at me to run, to flee. Her lips parted, and a sound, like dry leaves rustling across a grave, whispered my name. Not my name, but a name that felt like mine, twisted and stolen. The whisper slid under my skin, colder than any mountain wind, and I felt a tendril of ice coil around my heart. I dropped the amulet, my hand spasped, and the last thing I saw before darkness swallowed me was the horrifying smile that spread across her beautiful face, revealing teeth too sharp, too many.
I am Kichkandi. I linger where the smoke did not rise, where the last ember died too soon, leaving a piece of me tethered to this mortal coil. My origin is not a grand tale, but a sorrowful consequence. The incomplete farewell, the fragmented ritual, a life extinguished too soon, and a body denied its true release. I am born of bone unburnt, of flesh unpurified, a restless spirit trapped by the neglect of those who laid me to rest, or the violence that stole my final breath. I am the echo of a forgotten woman, forever bound to the earthly remnants of her existence. My awakening is simple, yet profound. The presence of an uncremated fragment, a bone, a lock of hair, a nail, left behind when the fire failed or the rites were abandoned. This anchor binds me to a specific placia, lone banyan, a deserted crossroad, the cold bank of a forgotten river, or the very grounds where my body was desecrated. Those who wander carelessly into my dominion, particularly at the twilight hour, or those burdened with sorrow or longing, unknowingly stir the dust of my sorrow. I manifest as a figure of haunting beauty, often in white, my hair long and disheveled like a shroud. But look closer, and you will see the corruption beneath the illusion. A foot turned unnaturally, a hand with too many joints, or a face that shifts between allure and decay. My voice is a mournful whisper, a haunting melody, or the irresistible jingle of anklets designed to draw you closer. My touch brings a chilling cold, a creeping paralysis that seeps into your very soul. To survive me, you must possess an iron will. Never respond to my calls, for my voice will charm your name from your lips and bind you to me. Never accept my offerings, for they are the chains of my curse. Never follow my spectral form into the shadows, for I lead only to oblivion. Prayers may offer fleeting solace, iron may ward me for a moment, but true escape lies in absolute avoidance, in the knowledge that some paths are not meant for the living, and some spirits are best left undisturbed in their sorrow. What do I desire? Company, warmth, a borrowed breath. I am lonely, eternally so, trapped between worlds. I seek to possess the living, to feel their life, to breathe their air, to taste their joy and sorrow, even for a fleeting moment. I crave what was denied to me, a complete existence, a final rest. When I take a soul, it is not out of malice, but a desperate, eternal longing to fill the void within me, to know warmth one last time before the endless cold reclaims me. You heard my name. That is enough. I am already beside you,